unbreakable. Share, not go live. Okay, and welcome everybody to another edition of Sickle Cell Show with Twin Adeshola. Yes, I hope you are hearing me. Yeah. Hello, hello. Yeah. Okay. Give the thumbs up if you are hearing me. Today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. We're still on the COVID-19 issue, and as sickle cell warriors, we are prone to having issues if we get in contact with with sickle cell. And because of this, we're going to be talking about how we can manage or even prevent any issues dealing with crises in this lockdown period, because it's going to be very difficult reaching so many people. And today we have a special guest on the show. I'll bring her on in a minute, but I'll first introduce her. She's Dr. Rebecca Solomon. She's a medical practitioner, and she is also living with sickle cell. She's a sickle cell advocate and also passionate about educating people about sickle cell. So I will bring Becky on. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Auntie Tony. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
How are you?
Fine.
Echo lockdown, as we always greet everybody.
Echo lockdown, no.
That serious lockdown. It's really challenging, especially when the fear now is like, if we go into crisis, what will we do? How will we cope? How will we manage and everything? But let's get down to the basic first. We know, we basically know about COVID-19, but why is it that it affects people with pre-existing conditions more, or elderly?
Okay, so the reason why it affects people with pre-existing conditions more is because it actually attacks the respiratory system, and because you already have a pre-existing condition, your organs are not optimal or working 100% like the normal person. So when you already have a condition, and then you have this virus affecting your whole body, bringing the whole immune system down, and the whole mechanism is basically bringing down the mechanism of, like, the defense mechanism of your body down and everything. So it's going to really, really fight you times 2 of what it's normally fights the normal person. So that's one of the reasons why it really, really brings people down. And you find that the people that actually die from this virus are usually, or most of the time, people that have other pre-existing conditions. Yeah.
Okay. I know one of the major challenges of the COVID-19 virus is chest issues, pneumonia, bronchial issues. Now, how does it really affect one? I was reading a lot about it, but how because sometimes, with us, I had this issue. I said, we have like acute chest syndrome or other bronchial issues technically, but also the COVID-19 also represents in that way. So how do you balance those two? Because I was doing one of these online things to check, and I just laughed because I took that chest issue and they automatically said you have COVID-19. I said, if only they knew that one of my challenges is bronchial issues. So how do you balance those two?
Wow. So you cannot really balance both of it, because actually the way COVID-19 attacks the respiratory system is that it attacks a protein called angiotensin converting enzyme, and that protein is extremely important in like keeping the airways open and keeping the defense system
Yeah.
there. It's keeping basically like
Yeah.
the structure of the lungs. Basically, there are some things that are like cilia, or how will I put it now? They are like brooms that sweep away different dirt and different um
Mm.
funny things that come into the respiratory system. So this virus attacks those things, attacks the protein, and then in turn it attacks like the brooms that sweep away the dirt from the lungs, and then thereby it
Yeah.
now even worsens your pneumonia. And again, in sickle cell, you have sickle cell
Mm.
where you have the blood, the hemoglobin, the red cell shapes being seriously affected. So all in all, if you have COVID-19 and sickle cell together, what it does,
Mm.
if you have COVID-19 and
Mm.
sickle cell together, sorry, I don't know what exactly is going on with my phone. Can you hear
Network.
me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, we can hear
sorry,
you.
I don't know what happened to. Okay, can you see me? I'm not sure you can see me.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
no, we
so all
can't
in
see
all,
you, but we can hear you.
okay. I'm trying to see if I can. I don't know what is going
Okay, I
on now.
can see. Oh, it's okay. Yes, you're back.
It's, I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going
Where
on
you're off
again.
again. You're off again.
I'm off again. Oh my god.
It happens. It happens. Maybe check,
Uh,
check your maybe you muted your video or something. Yes,
okay.
yeah, okay now. You're back. Welcome. Oh, it's gone off again.
It's gone off. Okay, can I log in again? I don't know if I can log in.
Okay, okay.
Let me try to.
All right.
Let me try
No
to log
problem.
in again.
All right, guys. So in the meantime, if you have any question prepared, post it on the Facebook or on Instagram, and you can also send questions to our WhatsApp number on 0808 484 0048. I repeat, 0808 484 0048, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. You can also share your experience on living during this lockdown, how you've been able to manage your health. So I think Becky is back on.
Yes.
Yes, we're
Yes.
good.
Okay. I really do not know what happened there.
uh,
Okay, so as I was explaining, so you
okay,
have
well, that's technology for you.
yes, so you have the virus affecting like the structures, base structures in the lungs, and then you have sickle cell affecting the
Mm,
blood, the red blood cells. So it's affecting two important things because the blood cells go through the blood, go into the lungs to actually get
mm,
oxygen, and this virus affects oxygen from even getting into the lungs,
yeah,
and thereby you getting oxygen from the lungs into the red blood cells. So as people that live with sickle cell, it's usually is high risk because you don't want someone that has sickle cell to be in an environment with decreased oxygen levels.
mm,
And that is
exactly.
usually the case with the COVID-19 virus, which is quite
Mm,
deadly actually.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So, what are the practical things one can do when one is at lockdown to make sure their immunity is built up? Because I know it's very important to build our immunity at this time, not just for people with sickle cell, but people in
Yes.
general. So, what are the practical things one can do so as to prevent crisis?
Yes, so the practical things that you can do to prevent crisis
Or with you?
is, or to reduce the frequency of having crisis is number one. My friends know me,
Mm,
they know that I love food. Is eat a healthy diet. You have to eat very well. I don't know. A lot of people have been bringing out their chef skills, their cooking skills, cooking different things, varieties of things, putting it on different platforms. You need to eat properly. There's nothing like a healthy diet in the management of sickle cell. I have seen it work so many times. I know that doctors will not say it outrightly and everything, but eating a healthy meal, oh my
mhm.
god, it goes a long way in helping, in giving nutrients into the body and helping to prevent crisis as much as possible. I mean, I've been cooking a lot of things because I've had, even though I still go to work, but I've had some time of my hands now, trying my hands on different meals and everything, just to like give me a better healthy diet. And then another thing that we have to do, we all know that water is our friend. Yeah, we need to drink
Yes.
so much water, and it's not very easy. Even me too, I've been
Great.
lacking in that
Not at all.
department because we're not really going out or exerting any pressure really, or exerting any activities on ourselves and everything.
Yeah,
So you don't lose as much water as you need, so you don't feel as thirsty as you need to, but you always need to have water by your side every single time. I mean, like, we need to have
exactly.
drink at least 8 glasses of water in a day, which is extremely important. Yeah. And then another thing is taking your drugs. Taking your drugs when you need to take them, folic acid, the supplements, paludrin, and the other routine supplements that you have to take, that because different people have different supplements that they are taking. So it's so important
Exactly.
to take these drugs. Like, you cannot um, underestimate the power of these drugs. Then another thing is, because we are locked up in our houses, and a lot of us are lying down on our beds and not really going out or doing anything. Another thing,
Exactly. Yeah.
because we have sickle cell, we have a high risk of developing DVT, actually, deep vein
Okay.
thrombosis in
What
our
is
legs.
it?
And so
Okay.
DVT
Yes.
is thrombosis in your legs, which forms in your legs
Yes.
because of how the blood, because of the type of blood we have and everything. Unfortunately, we have a high risk of forming that, and it can cause some complications in our body, actually. So we need to get up from our beds, do some form of light exercise, no matter how little it is. Yes, you have sickle cell, but it does not mean that you can't do any form of exercise at all. At least walk around the house like once,
Exactly. That's what
twice,
I'm
three
doing. I really
times.
just do some
Yes,
pacing up
exactly.
and down for a few minutes. Yeah.
Exactly. So I walk around my house. So
Mm.
I'm not saying go out to your street or something like people have been doing, like people have been doing on the Korodu Road.
Have you?
You don't have to. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Not that. At least getting out of your bed, walking from here to there, going up and down. It's extremely important that we don't just stay in one place. It's so important. Yes, you need to rest, but do not just sit in one place. I have actually sat in a place before for like 8 hours. And by the time I was
Wow.
done, my legs were swollen. Oh my God, I was so scared because I was reading for an exam and everything, and I was so overwhelmed. I forgot that Becky, you need to stand and move around. I sat down in that same
Yeah.
spot for 8 hours, and my legs were swollen. It's terrible. I was so scared. And also, it's extremely important to go up and down, to move around here and there. And then try as much as possible to stay warm. You don't want to, yes, we're in a the tropical region and all, but sometimes when it rains, like now, last night it rained last night, and it was quite
Yes.
cold and all, so you have to keep yourself very, very warm. And there has been light almost like 247 and all, and some of us
Yeah.
that have like ACs in
Well,
our
for some
house,
people, have life. Some of us don't.
it's true, Sha. Some people don't have light. I've had light,
You're assuming that
fortunately.
everybody.
Okay, it's for everybody.
uh,
But for some people that have
yes,
lights
some people
and
do have actually. Yes.
so yeah, I know that some people are tempted, like some people that have ACs in their room, they'll be tempted to turn on the AC and sleep off and all. That can cause a major crisis and all. So it's
Yeah.
quite important to keep everywhere warm, not hot, but
Mm.
warm, and keep everywhere just the right temperature and all. Then another thing is, please, let's not forget to wash our hands, please. We should wash
Yes.
our
We
hands.
don't
It is so
hand
important.
issue is we take it a lot for granted.
Exactly,
But
we do.
I always used to make fun of those people with OCD that they're always so fearful of getting jammed. But now I'm sure they are
Yeah.
so happy.
I have hand washing OCD. Oh my god, I wash my hands like
Really?
I wash my hands like I don't know. I learned it from my mom and all. So I wash my hands a lot. In fact, we have hand washing soap in
Mm,
every single place. Maybe the only place that we don't have it is in the sitting room, and also it's extremely important to wash our hands, and then there comes the issue of, because everybody's locked down, everybody's, you know, we've been locked down for almost a month now, and we've not really, at least people that have been very strict with it have not really come in contact with the outside world. And there's this issue of like our mental health and emotional stress, because this
mm-hmm.
pandemic, it comes with a lot of uncertainties, and you are not just sure exactly
Yeah.
what is going on. A lot of people, some people think, oh yes, this is vacation, but I mean, like, the economies are crumbling. Some people don't know their left. Some people don't even know, oh, how am I going to eat tomorrow? What exactly?
Yeah.
When is the economy going to open? So there's a lot of uncertainties, and it brings about a lot of emotional stress, which would really affect
Mm,
the physical health eventually. Actually, so it is so
yeah.
important to take care of our emotional health, because even me, oh my god, I had issues when this thing just started and the whole thing started rising and rising. I was quite anxious, because there's a lot of anxiety up in
Mm,
the air and everything.
yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
So the things I
Too
was
many
doing that
information,
really
fake
helped
and
me.
true.
Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly. The things that really helped me was that I tried to, sit and talk to some of my friends. I tend to, call. Sometimes I'll call this person or call that person to just like open my heart out and everything, because I mean, I still go to work. I still have that privilege of going to work, actually. But I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty. When this whole thing started, a lot of people were like, Becky, you're asthmatic, you have sickle cell, how will you be able to cope, blah blah blah. So the things started getting to my head and everything. But I was like, just be calm. So what I have done that has really helped me basically is talking to someone, you know, is is sorry, watching movies when I'm free to take my mind off it. And then at some point in time, it was actually affecting my sleep. So it's very important. I find that a lot of people are actually online late at night and all. It is extremely important to try to sleep
yes.
as much as we used to sleep
Mm,
before, is to create a healthy sleep hygiene. Because you find that, oh, a lot of people think, oh yes, I have a lot of time on my hands, so they don't sleep till like 4 5 a.m., and then you find that they are waking up by 8 o'clock, because they can't really sleep again, because it's already daylight, everywhere
yeah.
is bright. So, and you can't deceive your brain. So once everywhere
Exactly.
is bright, your the senses in your brain and the neurotransmitters in your brain start to say, okay, wake up, wake up, wake up. And if you don't sleep, your brain will try as much as possible to look for how it's going to sleep and all, and then you can start to have nightmares. And also, it's extremely important to sleep the time you used to sleep before, so that you'll be able to wake up the time you normally wake up. If I sleep by 5, by 4 5, by 8 latest I am up. I don't know how or anything. So it's extremely important to sleep. Then listening to music too can help, our mental health
Yeah.
and all. It's extremely important. Then one thing I find myself doing, yeah, because I like, most of my friends know that I love to do salsa and all. I mean, and so there's my salsa instructor started making us to do this salsa challenge every week. We get different routines and then we dance and we post it up. So it's something fun. So engage in things like that. Get a book and read. There's so much information about this COVID-19 online, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. You don't have to always touch your phone. You can
Yeah.
actually just log off social media for your own health and for your own mental space, because it's so important, because eventually it starts to
Mm,
affect your physical health and how you take care of yourself, basically. So yeah, so these are a few of the things that I think are pretty much
okay. So
important. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I'll go back to that, you were talking about healthy diet because I know people always healthy diet is expensive. What are the basic?
Yes.
Because people say, okay, what is healthy diet? What in your own world do you
Yes.
use as healthy diet? Because there are different grades of healthy diet. I always tell the people that basically it's not really that expensive if you try. Yes, they're expensive when you now buy all
Exactly.
these organic stuff. But luckily for
Yes.
us, we have a lot of friends. What are the things you normally eat that it's healthy for you?
Okay, so the things I normally eat, I mean, is things I get in the market, like fresh crops. You have yam, you have gari. I mean, there's so many
Mm,
things I can do with gari. I don't just have to drink it at all. I can make eba with it. You have vegetables, which is so important. Carrots, cabbages. These things you find. You have green pepper. You have so many. Then fruits is so important. A lot of people,
mm,
I realized that a lot of Nigerians don't really take fruits as much as they should. I always have a fruit with whatever meal I take, especially in the afternoon or in the evening. Fruits are so important, watermelon, pineapples, apples, these things you find
mhm.
outside on the streets, where people hawk these things, bananas. It's quite important. And it's not, you don't have to go to ShopRite, or you don't have to go to maybe one big mart. I mean, you can just go to the market
Mm,
close to your house to go and get these things. Rice, a staple food like rice, and so many other things that you can get that is actually healthy
okay.
diet. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about, okay, I'm in on lockdown and suddenly you know
Yes.
how crisis comes. Middle
Yes.
of the night or late at night or whatever. I have crisis. What are the basic things one must do, especially when it's not that bad to need hospital or just to manage till you can get to hospital broad daylight?
Yes. Okay, so what you can do is that you try as much as possible to take a lot of water. You take a lot more water than you were taking before. Maybe you can get like a whole big bottle of Eva and try to finish it like there and then, at least maybe in like 5 to like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Drink a lot of water. Then you can take painkillers. There are analgesics you can take, like paracetamol, like NSAIDs, diclofenac, ibuprofen, naproxen. These are things that you can actually take over the counter. Before the pandemic,
Mm.
I tried to get these things in my house. Even Tylenol too. These are things that you can take over the counter. Then you can, if you have like heating pads, there are some heating pads that you can use, and they'll put it on
Okay. I think
wherever.
like water bottle, stuff
Yes,
like
yes, you
that.
can do that. Yes, so you can put it on whatever part of your body is that is aching you, and try as much as possible to sleep, so that the drugs you have taken would try to have effect on it. But taking water too is extremely important, because if you get to the hospital, the first thing that they would give you is fluid and stronger analgesics and all. So if you can do all of this, actually it would help to reduce the pain, or even try to face it out if it's not such a if it's not such a bad enough pain that requires
Okay.
hospitalization.
Okay. I'll put a question like this. For somebody like me,
Okay.
we all have different pain threshold. Now, for
Yeah.
somebody like me, because I always hate taking pain meds, and the pain meds affect you in the long run. So,
Yes.
I may now wait till when the pain is bad before you now
Yes.
take is that advisable, or when you feel as soon as you feel a crisis coming on,
Mhm.
should you just take the pain med?
Yes. So I would say that as soon as you feel the crisis coming on, you should take the pain meds. Because if you now wait and say, oh, okay, let me just see. I used to be that way. And I'm like, let me not take the drug now. Let me just see how it's going to be. And hopefully this pain goes.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. It likely would not go on its own. So you would have to take the painkiller and try as much as possible to take a lot of fluid. Take a whole
Yeah.
lot of fluid, which is so important. Yes. So
Yeah. Okay. In the case of now, let's get into the crisis. You have serious crisis. What should you do? I mean, you've tried the medicine, is not working. Maybe the crisis started earlier on, and in the last 6 hours or 8 hours, nothing has helped. What should you do at this time?
Okay, so
Considering the restrictions and all that.
yes. So what you should do at this time is try to, if you can get your doctor's number, try to call your doctor so that if the hospital can get an ambulance to your house, or
Hmm.
maybe try to rally around your neighbors, because we know our healthcare system is not a very
Exactly. And
great
not
healthcare
everybody
system
has
actually.
private. Maybe they
Yes,
go to public
exactly.
hospitals. Maybe
Exactly. Not everybody has private. So if you can get one of your neighbors to carry you in the car, or maybe your family members carry you in a car to get to the hospital, because hospitals are still receiving patients with an emergencies, and sickle cell crisis is an emergency actually. Pain crisis is an
okay.
emergency. Yeah.
Okay, so it's easy to get into hospitals, both private and
Yes.
because I know in the early stages there was some hospitals who are like trying not to receive patients for fear of
Yes.
that patient
Yes.
having COVID.
COVID.
So
Yes.
yes, so I believe things have adjusted.
Yes, things have adjusted. So what hospitals try to do is that the person that first responds to you is protected from head to toe. Actually, is protected from head to toe,
Okay,
and person responds to you and tries to
okay,
see the type of symptoms you have. And if they are not suggestive of, okay, this person doesn't have COVID, might likely not have COVID-19, then you're admitted and the necessary things are done for you.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. Are there any online? I mean, I know it's easy for. I mean, I know sometimes people just go out to the hospitals, but in case of okay, I cannot find a way to go out, are there online facilities that one can like maybe speak to a doctor, maybe, oh, you can get an online
Yes, there
prescription
are.
and maybe go to a pharmacy, can you suggest some?
Yes, there are. So my classmates does a telemedicine um type of thing where
Okay,
you see the doctor online, you see a video call, you have a video chat with the doctor. It's called Doctora. There's Doctora.
okay, doctor.
Yes, there's
Okay,
Hello Doctor. There's Hello Doctor, there's Hello Care. So these are things that my classmates and my friends are doing using artificial intelligence to get through to patients. You can go to
mm,
www.hellocare.com to check, to book an appointment with a doctor, and you'll be able to see a doctor immediately, almost
okay,
immediately.
okay,
Yes.
okay. A lot of times, are there any special process when you want to get into emergency? Because I don't know, is there a different section? Somebody was even asking me that, okay, we had an emergency yesterday, and the person said, oh, I hope that they've separated the COVID side from the
Oh,
regular people's side.
okay.
Are there
Yes.
processes that you must do when you go to emergency?
Yeah. So there are actually COVID centers in Lagos. Yeah. There are COVID centers in Lagos. There's one at Onikon, there's one at Yaba, there's one in Etiosa, in Landmark. Okay, but for
Okay,
hospitals that may receive patients that may have COVID, they're usually kept in separate tents, and there's a procedure that is usually done.
okay,
Actually, yes, they're usually kept in separate tents. That's why I said the person that responds to the patient first would assess the
mm,
patient from head to toe, usually kitted, assesses the patient, but would not expose the patient to where a COVID-19 patient was, basically. So they would not do that
okay.
at all. Yes, they won't do that at all.
Okay, all right. What are the must have now? Go back. what are the must-have? Because sometimes I call people, or people call me and say, oh, they have prices and everything. Okay, what do you have at home? Nothing. So what are the must-haves, including medicine, whatever, first aid that you must have at home during this time in case of emergency?
Okay, so the must-haves, you have to have paracetamol. If not anything, you must have paracetamol. Then you must have NSAIDs, that's non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, diclofenac, naproxen. Then it's important to also have a first aid kit, like a very little first aid kit in case of any accidental cuts or anything, because I have seen quite a number of
Okay.
cases where you have, especially little children, because of how they play and how they move around, coming down with cuts
Mm,
and everything. And these are things that maybe can be dealt with at home instead of coming all the way to the to the hospital. So you have a little first aid kit. Then for sickle cell patients, it's extremely important to have like it's extremely important to have drugs that's controlled substances like tramadol, but those type of drugs are not given over the counter. You have to get it from your hematologist, and you have to make sure that you have
okay.
all yes, and you have to make sure that you have all your drugs, that all your supplements, that's folic acid, your routine drugs that you normally take.
Mm,
Then it's important to have water. I cannot overemphasize water. Water is so important. You must have water at home. You must have water. I cannot overemphasize. You must have water. And also, you should have hand sanitizers at home. Or you can also get methylated spirits if you don't have hand sanitizers. If you don't have access to hand
okay.
sanitizer, you can use methylated spirits as substitute, for maybe if you have to go out to go and buy foodstuffs or something, because you don't really know people that you've come in contact with. So basically, these are the things that you should have at home.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to answer some questions.
Okay.
I have one.
No
Peter is
problem.
asking what is OCD. He
Obsessive
says
compulsive.
what is OCD?
It's obsessive compulsive disorder. When you're actually obsessed with doing something, a particular thing. So the most popular one is actually with cleaning. When you're obsessed with cleaning and all. So it's actually OCD can be a mental issue. It can be a form of mental illness. It can
Yes,
affect the person's daily life, or it can just be a type of personality that the person has. Basically, if the person has this personality, the person can just be somebody that is controlling and very, very how will I put it? And very, very particular about that their things. They are extremely clean. You find that people like that are
things
extremely
exactly.
clean.
The way they arrange
Yes, the way they
something,
arrange things.
everything.
They know every single thing in their bag. To how
Exactly.
many pins are inside the bag. I do not know that. I only have that when it comes to, okay, maybe washing my hands and maybe keeping my surroundings clean, but not the extreme of knowing how many pens you have. They have to be arranged in a certain way. Oh no, my shoes have to be arranged in a
Yeah.
certain way and everything. So yeah, that's basically what.
And they get worked up to take something out. They get
Yes,
seriously
they get
worked up.
very worked up and they're like, it has to be like this. If it's not like this, then no.
Planning. Yeah.
Exactly.
So another question from Peter says,
Okay.
how, how can we prevent misdiagnosis?
Diagnosis.
Like just assuming we have malaria when it's not. What should we look out for, or what should be looked out for here?
Okay. So preventing misdiagnosis in terms of being diagnosed with COVID or malaria, is that what he's trying to ask?
Hmm.
Okay, so yes.
Yes, I think so. Especially if you have
Yes, you
malaria, you
have
have
fever.
fever.
Yes, yes. I've
Fever.
had quite a number of patients that came with fever and you're like, okay, so basically for COVID.
But you know, the dehydration can cause fever too.
What? Please, can you repeat that again?
Dehydration.
Yes,
Can have
dehydration.
an
Yes, you
I
can.
said,
Yes, yes. So basically, with malaria, you have fever, you have body pain, and most of the time, or some of the time, patient can have vomiting, and but with COVID, actually, you also have fever, you have body pain
mm,
too. Sometimes there can be diarrhea, sometimes there can be stooling. So these things is usually a dilemma, even for us healthcare practitioners. It's actually a dilemma. But the thing that usually gives it out is cough that is non-productive and difficulty in breathing. Once you have a patient that is coughing and has difficulty in breathing with fever, most of the time, that person might likely have, and has come in contact with somebody that maybe traveled, or was living around an area where someone traveled, most likely that person might have come down with the COVID-19 virus. But and again, the type of fever in malaria, it's quite different from that of the COVID virus, of the coronavirus. Yeah. So the type of fever in malaria usually comes at night or in the evenings, where the person shakes. Maybe the person will be fine during the day, like person might just go about their activity, but maybe feeling a bit sick. But at night, in the
yeah.
evening, person comes down with like a really bad fever and starts to shiver. So that's where you can distinguish between that and COVID. But for COVID, it's usually like throughout the whole day, and although there are 1,001 things that can cause that type of fever, but at least as a doctor, as a physician, you'll be able to differentiate, okay, this is not the COVID type of fever, or this is not the malaria type of fever. So, yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Do we have any questions on Instagram? Okay. Yeah. So I'll just say a few words. I know how are you as a warrior? What do you have to say with to people who are living with sickle cell at this time? Because I know there's this all this, oh, they should open up. And I was even listening to some presidents who were saying, oh, they should just open up. And I sometimes we don't look at the long time effects of these things. We just think, oh, we
Yes.
want the sudden solution and all that. So what would
Yes.
you say to people living with sickle cell? Okay, we have a question.
Okay.
Sorry, let me answer this question. How is DVT pain like? Does the pain start anywhere on the leg?
Okay, so DVT. Okay, so deep venous thrombosis. That's when you have a clot in the leg. It can be it's usually in the deep veins of the leg, or in deep veins of the pelvis. That's of your inside your waist or inside your hips, basically. And if you have it in your legs, it usually comes with swelling and
Mm,
redness, because it blocks some some of the vessels in the leg, and it causes like a clogging of how will I put it, like now when you have a pipe and then you block a portion of the pipe, the other part of the pipe will get bigger and want to like burst. So it now causes some form of pain and some redness around the area. Some other times the person might not even have any pain at all in the leg,
mm,
actually. So it's extremely important for us to be able to prevent it by doing some form of light exercise and moving around. Hope I was able to answer that question.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah. Okay, that's correct.
yeah, okay, so
Then before you add,
okay,
there's one
okay,
more. Um, yes. Oops. It's from Abayomi.
okay.
He's asking people who have leg ulcer, how do they
Oh,
care for themselves at
at
home?
home.
Suggest home care tips. Yes, this is
Okay,
true
yes.
because going to the hospital to do dressing can be challenging.
Yes, it can be very, very challenging. Okay, so during this time, because movement is not very easy, it's very important for so the person has to become a nurse at home, basically. So the person can get some some things like gauze, you saw, cotton wool, and some form of iodine too. So what the person should do, and some normal saline. So what the person can do is that the person
Okay.
uses the gauze. Actually, we don't really like to use cotton wool with wound care, because the cotton wool can trap some
Oh,
bacteria and dirt. So we prefer to use a gauze. So a person can get a gauze and put it in the Usol solution. Put the Usol solution in a plastic cup, yeah, so that the person does not contaminate the remaining solution. That's the Usol solution that the person has. Put it in a plastic cup, get a gauze, and use it to clean the area of the ulcer, the wound. And once person cleans the area, person then gets put some normal saline, and use the normal saline first to clean the wound, then use the Usol to clean that area of the wound, then soak the gauze in Usol and put it on the wound itself, then get a crepe bandage
yeah.
to go round the wound and clean and cover every part of the wound so that it doesn't come out and is exposed to the environment, which is not very hygienic. So I hope the person was able to
Okay.
get it. And you can do this every other day. So you have to get a lot of supplies.
Okay.
Actually, you don't have to do it every day. You
Nice.
can do it every other day, depending on how the wound discharges, like brings out whatever materials and exudates it's bringing out. Yes.
Okay. We have another question. Um, Says I need to know about DVT in the pelvis.
Okay. So
I guess she wants
DVT.
to know how it affects the pelvis.
Yes. So DVT in the pelvis, it's actually a lot more common than in the leg. So it's usually, like I said earlier, deep vein thrombosis. It's when there's thrombus in the deep veins of the lower limb, that's of the legs, either down in the leg or in the pelvis. And DVT in the pelvis is quite dangerous. It's also and DVT in the leg is also dangerous, but DVT in the pelvis is a lot more dangerous because it can go all the way up into our lungs and cause something called pulmonary embolism.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So and the clot basically just moves round the round the blood vessels all the way up um into the lungs. So it's quite a scary thing to have, and it can
Mm,
actually show um it may show symptoms, it may not show any symptoms at all. You may just start having maybe pain in your pelvis and you're not sure, or maybe in your waist, around your hip, and you're not just sure exactly what is going on actually. And but a lot of times usually doesn't show any symptoms, which is why prevention is really, really better than cure. So you have to be able to move around. You have to be walking around is so important. Like it is extremely important. Before before this pandemic, it was so easy to go around, move around. Like we could just go out, go and
yeah,
visit our neighbors and
exactly.
everything. But now it's like a luxury. Moving around is like a scary thing. Not even a luxury, it's a scary thing because it's like a war out there. And so you have to be able to at least move around your bed, around your compound, and do some light exercise. Yeah. So
Okay, so that's the last question. So you go back to your tips for people with sickle cell.
yes. So what I have to say is wash your hands as much as you can. Try to avoid touching your face. Try as much as possible to disinfect like surfaces that you touch, like your phone. If you have to go out, door handles, try to disinfect them. Then,
Yeah.
because this period is not a very easy time for all of us, you know, there's always that person or that one friend that we can lean on. In fact, the interesting thing is that these times, like around these times and everything, the groups that have really been helping me, that I just sit and read all the chats and everything, I like the club still standing group. I'm like, geez, this much messages. Oh my god. Like just getting to read that alone, I'm like, oh my lord, and everything. So it takes your mind off a lot of things, and not just getting to
Yeah.
sit and read things like that, knowing that okay, there are people that understand you, that understand what you're going through, and then also it is so important for us to, if you see that you are feeling down, or you are or you feel like, oh, the world is about to come to an end, and no, I will tell you that you should not fret. Please do not fret, please do not be anxious, because tomorrow is a new dawn, and the new dawn is coming very, very soon by God's grace. I am extremely hopeful, especially if we adhere properly to the social distancing, like it will really, really pan out for good for us, hopefully. Yeah, and we are hopefully by God's grace. Yeah, so quite important. Try to read a book. Try to, get some. Try to do something to get your mind off it. If you have to sleep, try to sleep, because it's not an easy time at all. It's a stressful, very, 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 very stressful time. So just try to ease your mind in whatever way you can, as much as possible. Yeah. So
Thank you so much,
you're
Becky,
welcome.
for
You're welcome at
giving
time.
us your words of wisdom. You
Yeah.
know, and I just encourage everybody out there. As she said, this too shall pass.
Yes, it will.
It's challenging, yes, but use this opportunity to structure yourself. Think about what you will do when you want to, when we start going out and all that. And I'm sure
Exactly.
all things will work together for good.
Amen.
Thank Thank you. And this
You're
has been a
welcome.
production of the Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative, and it is powered by the Public Affairs section of the U.S. Consulate. This is the online version of a radio show, the Touch a Shell radio show with Toya the Gang. We hope to see you the same time next week. And if you are watching the repeat, you can get in touch with us on 0808 484 0048 or 08 or on our social media handles on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Sammy updates for your questions, and we'll be glad to answer that as much as we can. Have a lovely, lovely week. Thank you. Miss Jason, thank you everybody for watching. We hope you see you. Slay the sickle cell, thank you for joining. Abimbola babe, thank you. Thank you all for joining and have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. Thank you.